All right, let's talk about the essential drone shots when shooting real estate videography. We are shooting a vertical highlight reel right now, actually a horizontal highlight reel. So what I do is always turn on active track. What you want to do is just get that little pin on the house. Boom. Once you have the pin, it is locked. First shot I always start off with, and I always make sure I walk outside and make sure nothing's going to be behind the drone. Always get the house kind of centered. We've got active track on, record. This is our first shot we're gonna do. So literally just pan back, is active tracked onto the house. Usually about 10-15 seconds. And boom. Then our second shot's gonna be going back at the house, kind of like, you can see my joysticks point to the right. So it's kind of staying on the house, it's still on the house. It's gonna pan around, pan on the house, and then you can see my joystick moving back. Now, what I'm doing is it's spinning backwards, gives us room for a speed ramp, and then you also see the beach nearby or if the water, you're kind of seeing more of the area. All right, and then the third shot I like to do is I kind of get up right next to the house and I want to show that the beach is right here. So I'm literally just gonna do a slow pan. The house is still centered. We can kind of use that to show more of the area, and I'll just pan back to the front, or you can do it from front to back. The lighting's actually perfect right now. So I'm just panning from back to front, showing the beaches nearby, show the location, and then it'll spin back to the front of the house. I kind of just spin as much as I can. This clip may be 30 seconds long, a little bit longer than normal, which is fine. Now I want to do one more shot showing more of the beach. So what I always do is I kind of get the home centered. This is not going to use active track. So I know the house is right here, centered. I kind of go a little bit lower. What I do is I hit record, and I'll literally just pan up and then head straight towards the beach. And usually this is our ending shot. I'll just end with the beach. If you're close enough, you can fly all the way to the beach. Here I might be able to, but I'll probably just pan up enough so you see the beach, and then I'll cut to a shot I already have. But if you're close enough to the beach, just go ahead and fly all the way, which I'm gonna do my best to do right now. So I'm actually gonna walk outside to keep my signal. I'm gonna try to go all the way. If you're inside, you're gonna kind of lose your signal. So I'm gonna do the best I can to go all the way. I still have full bars, even though we're pretty far from the beach. And then that right there is what our video is gonna end on. All right, here's a quick tip for shooting really tall houses like this, or just if you wanna get a better front shot rather than using the camera. What I do is I get the drone kind of centered on the house. We've got it here. So the drone is here, kind of centered on the house, and then you can get a way better shot of the front, just like that. Boom, you can do video too if you'd like and get a few clips. But usually just get a few angles because it's hard to get a good camera angle because you're kind of looking up at the house. Rather you can get a good straight on with the drone, like that. So let's talk about the key essential shots I do with my camera and gimbal. First of all, I always do maybe 2 push-ins to the kitchen. This is kind of an awkward beach house, maybe a good example. So what I do, always set my exposure, and we'll do just a straight push-in as far as I can, over the counter, done. And then usually I pick another point that I can go towards, kind of just a straight on here. We'll do from here into the kitchen. And boom. You can probably do one more, kind of from further back. There's a mirror right there, but I'm gonna shoot it anyways just to show y'all. So we'll go straight into the kitchen. Boom. All right. And then I always like to do just kind of a straight push in into the living room. You can do straight push in, kind of curve it. I'm going to start kind of as far back as I can so I have room to speed ramp. So I'm gonna go from here, push all the way into the living room. Perfect. And then I always like to do one too. That's kind of straight pushing as far back as I can, showing the entire room. So I'll go from here. I'm kind of right here at eye level. It's kind of the height. So I go here into living room as far as you can go. And that gives us room to speed ramp. All right, we need to get our dining room. So I'll go back, set my exposure. It's close enough. We'll go back. Here, I'm just gonna do straight push into the dining room. Push in as far as I can over the table. Boom. And you can do some creative stuff too. Just like coming here, panning down, boom. All right, I'm gonna do another one to the living room. So we have one coming that way. I like one coming this way too. So we'll go here, kind of going over and done. All right. This room is pretty much done as far as the wide angle shots. I'll come through and do detailed in a second. So we're gonna be shooting a bedroom. So what I always do is get my exposure set, of course. We are at f4, 1/25, and once it's set in here, I like to just go as far back as I can so we have room for speed ramping. So I'm gonna start here and then just slowly pan to the right into the bedroom. Now, tricky part is I am in the mirror here in that shot. So what I'm gonna do is kind of turn a little bit later and then I won't be in the mirror. So I'll kind of straight push in and I'm still in the mirror. All right, so this one's actually pretty tricky. So what we'll do is just do an angle from the bathroom over here. Because that mirror's right in the way, we're just gonna push this way. And done. All right, these bathrooms are always super hard to shoot. So what I like to do is get low. So right now, I'm on my knees, setting my camera settings. And literally, I'm just gonna do a slow pan to the right. And done. All right, we can even go in this little closet right here. You can open up these doors, have a little bit more room to shoot these little bathrooms. So I'm literally just gonna do a slow pan to the right. Done. All right, here's a bunk room we're gonna shoot. I got my exposure set. I'm gonna go back as far as I can. We're just gonna push all the way into the room, do a slow pan into it. Boom. So always try to do as long as you can into a bedroom, then we have room to speed ramp into it. Same thing with this one, should be super quick. We just have one shot because the wide shows the whole thing. This is as far back I can go. This is kind of in the way. So we'll just go from here, push in as far as I can. All right, so when we're shooting these highlight videos, we're kind of like hitting the best highlights. So if you see a laundry room like this, don't worry about shooting video. We do not shoot laundry rooms, but we want to make sure we get all the bathrooms, bedrooms, and whatnot, just in case. We may not even show all the bathrooms in the video, but we want to get the main highlights. So laundry room is not going to be a highlight of this video. All right, so this hallway, I'm going to just do the same thing as if it were a bedroom. Go as far back as I can. I'm just going to pan into it so you see the whole thing. Done. Normally I don't shoot hallways, but this is kind of cool with the stairs and we got a surfboard. So let's keep going. All right, we're outside with the wide camera now. The annoying thing is this is gonna keep fogging up because it's super hot outside right now. So you may want to put your camera outside just for a second to kind of get it used to the heat if we're in the summertime, because this is awful right now. You definitely do not want to shoot the exterior with your camera fogged. So always check that, same with shooting photos. All right, so shooting the exterior now of this house, I have my aperture at f/22 make sure we're on manual focus, the entire house is in focus, and then we want to be 1/25, and then usually about 1.7, 2.0. So what I always do for the front of a house, I just want to straight push it. So I go as far back as I can. You don't have to go super far back because this is a super long drive here. But I'm gonna get my exposure set. And for the front of the house, I do like to have the camera a little bit higher up. So I'm kind of a little bit over my head. I've got the house centered here. It's hard to see this, it's gonna be black, but I'll show the clip. I have it above my head. I'm gonna go ahead and hit record. I'm literally just gonna push in all the way to the house. Then we can transition from this shot to the living room or a drone shot if we need to. So we always do that straight push in of the front. You can do the same thing from the side if it looks better. Sometimes the house looks bigger from the side of the house than it does the front. So I'm gonna do another one from here. Same thing, we got the house centered, camera a little bit higher. I'm gonna push in all the way to the house. All right, once that's done, you can kind of get more creative stuff. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna have the camera pointed up for this one. I've got a little bit of the sun actually in the shot, so it looks cool. So I'm gonna go back, make sure my exposure's set. I'm gonna just do a little creative shot here, panning around the front. And boom, that kind of stuff you'll get better at just watching other people's videos and mine over time to have more creative stuff. Same thing here, we got a super awkward bathroom. So I'm on my knees here, shooting, so I'm not in the mirror. Literally just gonna do a slow pan to the left. Really, that's all you can do for that. We may not even use that in the final video. All right, so we're outside now, we're in the backyard. This house literally has no backyard, but we're gonna shoot it anyways, in case the client wants to showcase this. Same thing, f/22, set your exposure. I actually had to bump my ISO just because the aperture is so high. But all I'm really gonna do is start a little bit further back here. I'm gonna just pan right into the backyard. We'll do that. So we'll have that shot, and the back of the house actually looks kind of cool from right here. So I'm gonna do kind of a creative pan around. It's hard to see what I'm doing on the camera, but I'm gonna show you guys the shot. So I'm gonna just pan around this way. I like doing this for these tall houses. It just looks kind of cool. I've actually got the sun in it right now too. I'm gonna do it again. You can kind of start from the side of the house. Shows the cool trees, panning around, you got the sun in the shot, and done. All right, so I've got my detailed lens on. I stabilized the camera on 50 millimeters. I'm kind of just walking around and see if there's anything to detail. You could do a detailed shot of like this right here, but I wouldn't do a ton of detailed bedrooms. So here's my shot right here. And done. If you have some nice bathrooms, you can shoot detailed, but here we've got too many mirrors. These bedrooms are kind of there's just nothing like crazy about them. Their bedrooms, you see everything in the wide shots. Really, I wouldn't even worry about shooting detailed of something like this. I would focus on mainly the living areas, kitchen, dining, anything cool. If there's a pool, all this you see in the wide stuff, it's just kind of useless if you shoot detailed. So don't worry too much about detailed, mainly just get the highlights. Shooting light fixtures is kind of cool. So I'm like on the stairs right now, just doing a detail of this light fixture. Literally all it is a slow pan to the right, and I always have the center point when I'm shooting detailed. We're in the living kitchen area here, kind of looking at what I'm gonna detail. I'm gonna detail these chairs, probably the couch. This looks good. I usually get a detail of kind of the dining or light fixtures because those look really good. Usually the kitchen, backsplash. I'm gonna show you guys examples as I do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick, I usually pick kind of a center point for detailed. Usually I get these ideas just from watching other people's videos. So here's a detailed shot, get in the kitchen, I've got one of the chairs centered, boom. And you can kind of move your detailed lens a little bit if you need to. So I was zoomed out just a little bit on that one. So for this one, man, I'm out of breath. I'm going to detail the dining, and I'm also gonna kind of use this as a foreground. So I can kind of just pan around it. Going around the kitchen, very slow, super stable, boom. All right, we'll do the same thing over here. I'm gonna pick a chair. I'm gonna kind of just detail the center of those two chairs, and done. All right, let's come over here. I'm gonna detail those two chairs because they look good. That kind of area looks cool for detailed. Let's get our camera set. Just do a slow pan to the left, and done. I sometimes like doing some detailed too. So like, I'll get the kitchen here, kind of like this. I have my button pushed down here, which keeps it locked in place. Let me get it centered. Make sure the shot's in focus. I've got it locked in. I'm just doing a slider shot. Sometimes those look cool doing the kitchen. All right, that's done. Now I'm gonna do kind of a detailed shot of the backsplash, kind of getting the stove, appliances, looks pretty cool. And boom. Usually the detailed shots, these are super quick, usually 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds if you need to, but usually super quick, slow, to the point, more kind of cinematic. You could even do one right here. All right, let's get our exposure, and boom. Nothing crazy. All right. I'm gonna open this door here and actually do a detail of kind of the fire pit here. So I'm gonna get my exposure set. We're still on F4 here. I'm kind of just doing a peeking shot. Sometimes these look cool. So I'm just peeking around the corner, very slowly. Boom, that's our shot. All right, really there's not a whole lot to detail. Just kind of get some good like furniture shots, dining looks good. We can also get a detail to this light fixture because that's pretty cool. So what we'll do is kind of spin around it. So I've got it centered, and boom, done. Yeah, so really just get some cool little highlights that we could show in the video. Make sure they're super smooth. Check your clips after. You're good to go. So you gotta remember that these videos are like 60 seconds or less. So we don't need 500 clips unless we're shooting multiple reels for the client. But we do need just some really good highlights of the property. So I mainly shoot maybe 10 detailed shots total of this 3-story house and on the beach. One thing I like to do, I'm just gonna throw in this video, is just making sure all of our camera gear is put back nicely. I like everything organized, make sure nothing's scratching, getting ruined. We have so many shoots we have to do. We wanna make sure that we're not having to buy new equipment every month or every few weeks, you never know. So I'm just making sure all of our equipment is organized, put in the bag nicely, nothing's gonna scrape and get ruined. When we're traveling, putting things in the truck, have all my gear organized here, camera, got a lens here. So yeah, that's kind of my setup as far as we got photo and video and drone only in 2 bags here. And of course, when you're finished shooting, run around and turn off all the lights. Oh, you're still working up here?
No, I'm turning off the lights.
Oh, she's actually turning off the lights. This is perfect. Make sure all the lights are off. We're good to go. And then our client's not mad if we left all their lights on when we left the shoot.